I'm going to start with the historical development of inclusive education in Sweden. And there are 4 phases in which inclusive education in Sweden developed. The first one was the incremental phase, which lasts from 1935 to about 1945, and special education was characterized by segregation and exclusion. There was a high increase in the number of special classes, and therefore a lot of exclusion of pupils who were diagnosed with physical and mental disabilities from so-called ordinary schools. Educational policy was characterized through short-term planning and ad hoc solutions, which is also linked to the lack of research that existed during this time in education and also in special education. This led to a lot of ignorance to controversial issues, causing a lot of compromises and inflicted conscience. And a parallel school system developed through this. So there were the so-called ordinary schools, and then there were the special schools. After this followed the consensualistic phase, which was from 1945 to 1965. And there the pupil was considered the cause of his or her school problems, and that they should be taught according to their problems. Within this phase, also the 9-year comprehensive and compulsory school was introduced in Sweden, and a little after that introduction, there was a differential system for special education introduced, the so-called mainstreaming in education. And then special education became the part of the national curricula and was proposed as an alternative to special classes and special schools. This was followed by the technocratic phase from 1965 to 1990. And there was the parallel school system was replaced by the comprehensive school system, which led to an increase in special education. And now there was an increase in acknowledgement that actually the schools are the problem and the cause of the difficulties of the students. The concept of coordinated special education was introduced, which meant slow teaching by special teachers. And in the end of this phase, the new curricula emphasized inclusion of children with special needs in regular classes. And it's in the last phase, the participatory phase from 1990 to 2000, the School Act, the school ordinances, and the national curricula now emphasize the importance of solidarity, the right to education of equal value, and the right for pupils who experience difficulties for various reasons to receive the help and the support they need. And since 2000, Sweden's school system is considered to be one of the inclusive systems compared to other countries. However, there's still special schools and still special education. And it states that in the educational policy that segregation must be avoided, but it doesn't state that inclusion is the only way kind of to go. And Rune, I think you also wanted to add something to the development of inclusive education in Sweden.